Okay, so first thing you're probably going to notice is this guy right here. I'm doing this from my office at work since I have two roommates in my apartment. It's not all that private for making videos, but anyway. I don't know how many of you guys are interested in hearing about weird dreams, but I think they're pretty intriguing, and a lot of times when I have a weird dream I can connect it to stuff that happened the day before, whether it was a movie I watched or a conversation that I had with somebody or just something that was on my mind most of the day. But this dream that I had last night was so weird. So I'll do my best to try and set the scene for you so that you find this actually entertaining and don't zone out or turn it off. But so here's the scene. So we were in a mountain valley, and I say we because there's a large group of people, and it was kind of an interesting valley. So we had coming down from one direction, there was one valley, and then another direction there was another valley coming down, and it came down to kind of met in another valley that went further down into the, I don't know, the rest of wherever it was we were, but we were up in the mountains. It was beautiful. There was a big river running through both of those main valleys that then converged into the one, green, lush, and so that's not necessarily the weird part. The weird part was that I was a member of, and I don't want to say Indian tribe or Native American tribe, because it didn't seem like that's what it was. It was kind of a weird kind of cultural tribe. If I could compare it to anything, it would probably be more like Hawaiian than anything, which is strange because I'm not Hawaiian. Obviously I'm white. I do love the Hawaiian culture though, and I didn't too recently watch Moana, so I don't know if that influenced the dream or not. But so anyway, I could tell that was kind of how our culture was, but it was tribe mentality. We had a chief and elders and everything like that, and it was weird also because so I was there, and I've had dreams before where I'm somebody else, but I know I'm me, and the closest thing I can compare that to is what people think of reincarnation. You're still your soul, your spirit, or whatever, but you're in another existence. And I know for sure my mom and my dad were there also, but they were different characters as well in this story. So as the dream went, I don't know if it was like a prophecy, passed down from generations from other elders in the tribe of this thing that was going to happen, or if we were just reading the signs of the the weather and stuff. But we knew that this colossal flood was coming, and that it was going to flood our valley. Well, we didn't know which valley. That was the thing. It could have been the valley where we were actually in. We had our settlement and we were growing our crops and everything, or it could have happened in the other valley, but it was going to happen in one of them and then go down down that main valley. Excuse me while I take a drink. Anyway, as you can probably tell, this is going to be a long video. So where was I? Oh yeah. So everybody's pretty freaked out about this, and our chief, he had this one main idea about what we should do. And his idea was that we should just kind of pick up, you know, our whole town or tribal area, everything, and farms, and just kind of move up higher, up the mountain. But a lot of people were still afraid that that was still going to be affected by the flood, and that we were still going to be kind of basically washed away. And then my dad, who was, I guess, you know, one of the, you know, higher up tribal elders too, he thought that we should take everyone and move to the other canyon, because I guess we'd done stuff in the past like that. You know, we had been a nomadic tribe, and we'd moved around a lot to different areas, and we would, you know, set up the area, farm and everything, grow our crops, and, you know, just to let the land kind of recover from being used, we would then pick up everything and then move over to another area, and then just kind of back and forth like that. So anyway, that was the idea. Well, it became this huge, like, heated exchange between the chief and my dad, and to the point where they, my dad challenged the chief to this some, you know, ancient rite, basically, to take over and be in charge. But it was basically, it was battle to the death. And so everybody is kind of excited and scared about this this event that was going to happen, and preparing for that. And the day came for the this battle, and you know, they were all geared up, had their swords and their other weapons and armor and everything on, and they were getting ready to battle. And it was weird because, so I didn't really know what role I played in this whole thing up until this point. It was kind of like a third person, like I was just watching it happen. But then as they were about to begin this battle, and everybody was, you know, gathered around, kind of cheering and anxious about what was going to happen, I ran in to the battleground, and I grabbed them. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting kind of emotional about this. It was kind of emotional, I guess, in the dream, and maybe that's why. But so I grabbed them both by the wrists, and I yelled, "Stop! This has to stop!" And it was silent. You know, the crowd of everybody around just hushed. You know, all the murmur and talk and everything just ceased, and it was dead silent. And I looked at the chief while holding both of their wrists, and he was just like, "You're out of your mind." And it was weird because when I did that, when I grabbed him, I realized who I was in that scenario. I was like this other elder, but I was a woman. And when I woke up and was thinking about this, the closest thing I could think of is it was the grandmother in Moana, and you know, everybody thought that she was crazy or whatever in the movie, but I don't know if that's necessarily what people thought of me. But that's the type of person that I was. I was an older woman who, you know, was actually like looked up to by the people for her advice and stuff like that. And so I think maybe that's why they took me more seriously. And I looked at the chief, and I said, "Chief, you have brought up this great people and we all were wise, and we know a lot, and this decision shouldn't be up to you alone or him either. I think that this decision, and I feel like I worded it more eloquently in my dream, but basically I said that this is wrong and this needs to stop, and what needs to happen is we need to have a council of everyone together in the main council hall. I guess we had this, main kind of building where we would meet together for, counseling over different things like crops and things like that. But anyway, I was like, we need to meet together and we need to all talk about this and what's going to be best, and what we think is going to happen and what we should do, and that's how we should decide. And the most poignant part of the dream was what I said next, and that's kind of, to me, that was really kind of the pinnacle and almost the end of the dream. As I said, as I looked into their faces, I said sometimes doing what's right is more important than tradition. And that was in reference to, the battle that they were going to do, and then whoever won would get to decide what was going to happen. And that's kind of where the dream kind of, it didn't like end, but everybody, I don't know why, everybody agreed. Everybody kind of cheered and started rejoicing, and the chief, he digressed from the battle and his kind of stance on what we should do, and so did my dad, and everybody was just ecstatic that they were going to be able to help make this decision. And it was that was kind of the end of it. Everybody was just kind of like walking away, and went back to their things, like getting food ready for this council meeting that we would all have, and then that's where the dream ended, and that's where I woke up. And I don't know, it was just so strange that I kind of wanted to share it with whoever's gonna watch this. What is it? Oh, we're at 12 minutes, almost 13-minute long tale of a dream. But I think that I guess was the moral of the story, was that it's more important to do what's right than to follow tradition. And I don't know, that's kind of my takeaway from it, is that should be the main focus, not doing what's culturally acceptable or the norm or expected, when doing what's right ought to supersede that. So anyway, that's my weird dream, and hopefully somebody watches this. If not, it was nice to just kind of say what was on my mind. So bye.